Guys, if you were cooking on some beat-up old pans, listen up. Our show sponsor, Hexclad, has revolutionized the cookware industry with its patented hybrid cookware. We upgraded our kitchen with Hexclad, and my wife and I love it. They're incredibly durable and give you the performance of stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, and the convenience of non-stick. Gordon Ramsay uses these pots and pans, and if that doesn't convince you, I'm really not sure what will. These are the ones you heard Gordon say it. He referred to them as the Rolls Royce of kitchenware. Hexclad's 13-piece set has everything that you need for a limited time, plus you're going to get 10% off just by using the code CHAEL when you go to hexclad.com. All of their products also come with a lifetime warranty. That's right, this is the last set of pots and pans you're ever going to have to buy for a limited time only. You can get 10% off your entire order by using the promo code CHAEL at hexclad.com. Trust me, guys, your kitchen will truly never be the same. Just click the link below. I gotta tell you, this feels like a grudge match. I mean, this just feels different than other fights. As a matter of fact, I can't really think of another fight that's ever been built to this degree. And it's built by us, by the way. I don't think anybody spent $1 marketing this thing. This is purely by us. I told Ariel what feels like 6 months ago, but time flies. It could have been 4. It could have been 3. About this fight. And after I told him about the fight, of which Paulo and Chimaev backed up, Paulo gets booked in Salt Lake City against someone else. So, okay, I guess they're not doing that. And then Jared Cannonier's speaking up, and he's the only one speaking up. But I guess, like, if we're just throwing our hands up, I guess, what difference does it make? It's not a main event anyway. What difference does it really make? Well, you know, there's something there special with Chimaev, but he's never really needed an opponent before. He's drawn well, he's a media darling, and we'll see what happens, and not to mention October's a long time away. But guys, we've been talking about it for a long time, right? That's the only point I'm trying to illustrate. I don't remember a fight that we've talked about for so long. So then all of a sudden, Paulo gets put back on this card, and that took like 3 days to make the announcement. It was announced that he was off Salt Lake, but it wasn't announced what he was going to do. Like, things got weird, and then Paulo and Chimaev, who had told us initially that they were going to fight in October in Abu Dhabi, and then we find out that Paulo's going to Salt Lake. So now we come back to Paulo and Chimaev, who've already lied to us once, and then they lied to us again. They both say they're not going to fight for 3 days until the organization makes an announcement, and it's like, ta-da, we are going to fight. And I'm all for it. I don't mind the spoof, but why'd you deny it? And why did you both deny it? Like, are you secretly talking to each other? Or did you both come up with the same stupid idea simultaneously, which is we're going to go and lie to the audience? I don't get it. I'd be curious to hear. It was weird. It was a weird thing to deny a fight that was going to happen. That's a weird thing to do. It's never happened before where both guys have done it. Most likely scenario, pure coincidence. Possible scenario, they talked about it, which blows there. The deal's off. If you guys are communicating, the deal is off. Okay, great. So these two are going to go fight. Now, when I tell you I've never seen anything like it, I've really never seen anything like it, because as much as we've been talking about, and as long as we're talking about it, and as excited I am, and as much as I'm going to talk about it as they build up, it's not a main event. I mean, when I told you that no fight has been talked about this long, I've never seen anything in history like it, you probably thought, sure, Chael, what about this and what about this? You'd have been fair to do it. But now that I give you the second reveal, which is we've talked about it for this long and gone to this length and this depth, and we have this storyline for a non-main event, you're stuck. And that's where you have to hand it back to me and go, yeah, Chael, you're right. We've never seen anything quite like it. Now, you want to know why I bring that up? Because there's never been a fight that we've looked forward to like this much in advance that's happened. It creates some kind of a pressure, and one guy every time breaks. Every time. And I have single-handedly kept fights together by calling it out in this very forum ahead of time. Single-handedly. Fights I knew were going to fall apart. I kept it together by telling you, you're talking about it, the pressure, the blah, 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 it's getting too much. One of these guys are going to break. And that fight is really, really challenging to break down. You have built into your head this monster in Paulo Costa, which you're absolutely right, against a smaller opponent in Chimaev, which I'm being told is no longer right. That he's put on size, that he's massive, that he's going to have to pull down to 185 pounds. I mean, that's a very different guy. I'm into that storyline. It's exactly what Jon Jones just did, right? I mean, literally 3 years away to put on size to come back and be somebody different. It's the exact angle that I'm going to take when I build Stipe for the Jones match in November, is that Stipe put on 20 pounds because he thought he was going to be matched up with Francis Ngannou, was just a different guy. And it's really hard to know. Like, it's really hard to close our eyes no matter how much we follow the sport and see that. I can remember the day. It was January 19th, as a matter of fact. How's it right off the top of my head? You can't get this anywhere. January 19th. Conor McGregor was too small for Cowboy Cerrone. They fought at 170. Conor had been champion at 145. Cowboy was comfortable within this weight class, and it ended up being a 19-second fight, and it favored Conor McGregor. But a lot of those things that I just said were true. Also with Donald, he didn't understand. He didn't know it was going to be that ferocious. He didn't know it was going to be that power. He didn't know those speeds. That's not the guy that he sat and studied. It was somebody else, somebody that was bigger. And I bring that to you. I don't know what to expect with Chimaev. Paulo Costa is a rough night out for anybody. I do not believe with any part of my being that somebody can run over Paulo in any aspect. I don't think anybody could run over him in boxing. I don't think anybody could run over him in wrestling. I don't think anybody could run over him in jiu-jitsu. I don't think anybody can run over in MMA. They're going to have to work. To imagine that Chimaev can just go grab him and take him down and keep him there for 15 minutes is really hard to imagine. But Chimaev, weighing 205 pounds, walking around, all muscle, pulling down to 185. And I'm not saying that's what he is, but I am saying this is some of the reports. There's also something that I can't imagine because I haven't seen it before. It's a very compelling match. It's a very, very interesting match. And where do we go from here? Right? We've got this whole thing and plenty of time to build, but it does appear to be a number one contenders match. I mean, that does seem to be very obvious, and I believe that something to that degree has already been stated, at least for Chimaev. And the reason I bring that to you is Adesanya and Strickland looks to be, and this is according to Coach Nitzek, who's done a ton of title fights, knows a whole bunch about getting guys ready. Coach Eric is saying that it's down to a visa issue, just a visa issue with Australia. And I share that with you because you're wondering about 185 and you're wondering, well, what two are going to draw into what two? I think Paulo Costa and Chimaev is what's being looked at. I think it's going to be the winner of Strickland versus Adesanya. I think Duplessis is going to find out the hard way. When you're offered an opportunity, you should take it. I'm not saying that I hope that for him or I cheer it, and calendars are going to have to match up. And if Duplessis is an interchangeable mediocrity like the rest of them, he'll get plugged in. But there's a lot going on at middleweight. Almost like a time that we've never really seen before. And those unique times and those unique pressures generally makes one of them crack. You ever seen a fight build up like this? You ever had this anticipation? You ever had this anticipation this long? You ever heard in the media and read about a match 6 months out where you were excited and you didn't know and it was a back and forth affair? And it wasn't even a main event?